Greetings, I am Herbert Erpaderp, and today I'm going to build this spaceship. This is a kind of obscure ship from a movie that you've probably never heard of before. It's called Star Wars, and the ship is named the Millennium Falcon. I wonder how many humorless nerds are furiously typing away calling me an idiot for that. Obviously I know Star Wars is quite popular, that's the joke. Anyway, this is, as the box shows, a Bandai Millennium Falcon kit. I'm not sure what scale this is. I don't see it on the box, though there is a chance it is actually there and I just haven't seen it because I'm blind. Either way, I'm not sure it really matters. All the models in this range seem to be different scales anyway. As you see, there's nothing on the back of the box, so let's just get right into looking at what's inside the box. This is what's inside the box. Also, the instructions are printed on the inside of the box, which we've seen in some of the other Star Wars kits I've done. This isn't a bad thing really, and the instructions are legible and not too hard to follow. I would prefer a little leaflet or booklet for ease of handling and such, but we don't always get what we want, do we? I do appreciate that this uses less paper though, so overall it's a good thing. The plastic sprues are very white here, and the only problem with that really is filming them under bright lights. There are 2 sprues containing the hull in 2 parts. Well, most of the hull. There are other hull parts on other sprues too. These are really nicely detailed, as you can probably see. I think the level of detail and neatness they've got here is quite impressive, particularly in a model this size. It's not especially big. I'm impressed, but at this point, not surprised. This is the sort of thing Bandai are known for. There's another couple of sprues with all of the rest of the detail-y bits, and these are just as neat and crisp and amazingly detailed as the hull parts. Also, this is a snap kit. Bandai kits like this are very precise and will stay together quite well with no glue at all. I do glue them myself because I want them to stay together, and sometimes there are small gaps that friction alone just won't prevent. But you can do this with no glue, if you choose. The glue god might be a little bit upset if you do make that choice though. Still, the choice is yours and you deal with the gluey consequences, I guess. Praise the glue god. You'll be excited to learn that this kit has the same 3-part stand as the other Bandai Star Wars kits I've done. This one is in black plastic, though sometimes they're in clear plastic. There are also stickers. There's quite a few of them for this kit, and these are perfectly fine to use, especially if you're not interested in painting the model. Personally, I think it'll look better with all of these coloured panels done with paint, but it is nice to have the options. The stickers might be useful in figuring out where to paint the various coloured panels too. Okay, so that's what's in and on the box. The time to join bits of plastic together has arrived, with or without the aid of glue. The first thing I did was to slot this doodad in here. The mounting pin for it should hold it in place with friction alone, but if the part does come out of place, and it probably won't, it will be kind of hard to deal with, so I glue it just to be sure, and totally not out of fear of the glue god. Next, I add a pair of, I don't know what to call these. That's nothing new! I guess they're exterior greebly walls, or something. They'll fill the open spaces between the 2 halves of the hull with delightful detail. A similar part goes at the rear. It's the Millennium Falcon's glowy engine thing, which probably has a fancy Star Wars name, but it just isn't coming to mind right now. If you were watching the stream where I built this, you will know that I got a bit confused and was trying to attach this to the wrong half of the hull, but let's just keep that as our little secret. Fuck, I shouldn't have said that. Moving on, there's another little external hull bit thing that goes toward the front here, and then we need to add some similar parts down the front of the ship. I was going to say down the pointy bit, but it's sort of a truncated pointy bit with a gap in the middle, isn't it? Yes, I know, very technical and accurate spaceship terms I've used there. The first 2 parts go along that gap in the middle. Like all the previous parts, filling in the detail that would otherwise be open voids between the 2 halves of the hull. So far, all of these parts have been pretty easy to place. Just pay attention that you're putting the right part in the right places and you should be fine. If it doesn't pretty much just slot right into place, you've probably got it wrong. More very similar parts. These go on the outward-facing edges of the truncated pointy bit. You can see these have little recesses that allow them to fit around the circular bits of detail there. I did find these parts a little bit fiddly, surprisingly enough, but that is relative to the rest of the kit, so not all that fiddly really. Mostly I just had to apply some glue and pressure to make sure there were no unwanted gaps. Next, it's time to add the cockpit joiny thing. No immature cockpit jokes, Herbert? I'm sure you can make them yourself. This part neatly drops into place here. Well, it has to be pressed into place, it won't just fall there, but you know what I mean. And then I turn my attention to the other half of the hull, which, like the first half, has a doodad that goes here. It does have a different way of mounting to the hull part, and I guess that will keep you from accidentally putting the wrong parts in the wrong places. Then I install these little, I guess you might call them recessed detail panels or something like that. They're just little bits that sit below the hull surface and add detail in behind the openings there. I suspect it would be very hard to mold that kind of thing and have it look good in one part. Otherwise, Bandai probably would have done that. You can see in the opening for the second one that there's some protrusions. They look like they could be flash needing to be removed, but if you look closer, you'll see they aren't. These are intentional details, so be sure not to clip them off. Next, I join the two halves of the hull together. There's plenty of guide pins for this, and it's quite easy. You would have to put in some quite deliberate effort to get this wrong. I apply pressure all around the model to make sure everything is in place, applying extra glue and pressure where needed to deal with any gaps that appear. I take care of those giant holes in the sides of the Falcon by adding the appropriate parts. I guess these are like docking things. Whatever these are, there's one for either side, and they're both keyed differently so you won't be able to put them on the wrong side. Not even if you really wanted to. Well, I mean, you could find a way, but don't. The cockpit? Damn it, Herbert! The cockpit itself comes next, and you can see the big T-shaped keying in there that will prevent you from installing this anything but the right way up. You press it on, and it looks nice and neat, and now our Millennium Falcon can be piloted. There is still a couple more things to add though, like this huge dish. Is it a radar dish, or some special Star Wars tech-related dish? Whatever it is, it's on, and it looks good. Next, some weapons. There's one of these for the top and bottom of the ship, and as best I can tell, they're identical. They're also quite easy to position, and they're recessed, which means there's no chance of bumping the model and breaking these off. Challenge accepted! You would do that, wouldn't you? That's the Millennium Falcon completed, and now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the stand. This is the same 3-piece stand we've seen in all of the Star Wars kits I've built so far, except for the AT-ST of course. It goes together nice and easy, and I slip the ship end part into the ship. I don't glue that into place because I'll probably want to remove it for painting. The ship end is then joined to the rest of the stand, and the ball mount means that we can have it at any angle we choose, from plane and level to any jaunty angle we want. And now, the Bandai Millennium Falcon from the Star Wars is truly completed. If it was truly completed, you'd have painted it. Quiet you. I doubt anybody is going to be surprised to hear me say, I think this has turned out really well. I mean, look at it. It's definitely the Millennium Falcon. It's definitely awesome, and it's certainly very well detailed, especially for its size. I'm not a big enough Star Wars fan to point out any little errors or inconsistencies with the on-screen model, and that doesn't really seem like an enjoyable use of time, so I'm very satisfied with what I've got here. I think it looks rather convincing. I think this is the perfect model to use as a small decoration for your work desk or something like that, assuming you work at a desk. It would also be suitable for home desk use or anywhere else you would choose to display it, and I think it would be perfectly fine as a display piece as it is, with no paint or stickers. I do think it would look better painted, and that is what I plan on doing with mine, eventually. I'm not so sure about the stickers. I'm sure they're fine, but they would be my third choice out of the 3. Anyway, this is a really fun and enjoyable kit to put together, and I'm feeling pretty confident that that's pretty much standard for a Bandai kit. My only experience with them is the Star Wars stuff, but I can't recall hearing any serious complaints about them at all, which is kind of unusual really. I'm not really into Gundam, and every time I make one of these videos somebody's going to tell me, "Build a Gundam!" And I'm sure they're great kits to build as well, I'm just not as interested in the Gundams, so I think I'll stick to the Star Wars kits until I run out of them. I guess the point I was trying to make there was if you're looking for a nice relaxing build that won't take too long, these Bandai kits are a great choice. I guess it helps if you like Star Wars too. I would absolutely love it if there were models of Star Trek ships by Bandai like these kids, but I guess there's a bunch of licensing stuff there. Anyway, I think I'm getting off topic, so maybe that's enough waffling by me, the Waffle Man.
That's not your name!
Might as well be. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comments section below. If you've built one of these or any other cool models and you want to share, why not drop by our friendly Discord community and show us some pictures? We would love to see what you've done. If you want to watch me build kits like this live, head on over to my Twitch channel. The link is in the description below. Check my schedule to find out what and when I'm streaming next. And if you've not already done so, why not subscribe, follow, ring the bell, consider becoming a patron if you want to see my videos a bit early, or maybe just come say hi on Discord or Twitch next time I'm live. And if you are feeling really helpful, why not share this video with your friends and enemies and anybody you think might get something out of it. You can find links to all of my things like social media in the description below, and as always, I shall return soon. So until then, be excellent to each other, have a nice day, and thanks for watching. Farewell.